I'm talking to Lars Pederson, who is the CEO of Commprove at the LTE World Summit in Amsterdam. Lars, just tell us about the panel that you've been talking about today, managing traffic in the mobile network, a big problem at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very interesting discussion, focusing in on, actually mostly on signaling traffic. With LTE, with the new handsets and so on, you typically see 5 to 10 times more signaling traffic in networks. And then also on M2M, with all the machine-to-machine communication, because there the volume of traffic is very low, maybe a few 100 kilobytes per session, but every session has to be set up, and for that you need signaling, and there's a lot of sessions. So due to LTE and M2M, we believe, and that was the discussion on the panel, that there'll be a little bit of a shift back towards signaling, because everything has been about user plane, everything has been about DPI as sort of the focus area in terms of network optimization. But due to those two, let's call it developments, there's going to be a stronger focus on signaling.
I see. And where does Commprove, come into that? Where do you fit into that?
Well, we have we're basically a network monitoring company. So we have a couple of solutions. One is a probe-based solution where we monitor the links between network elements, and then the other one is a performance management solution where we get statistical counters from the network elements. And in terms of this whole signaling question, well, we do user plane and control plane in terms of the monitoring, and then we correlate across. So for instance, if you want to figure out throughput of a user just before he dropped off a network, how much was the throughput just before he was thrown off, to answer that question you need to pick up user plane information to get the throughput number. And to see whether he was thrown off, well, you need to look at the signaling information. So our solution correlates all that, does it in real time across the network and across all users, and it does it now so you can see what goes on right now, but it also stores it in terms of historical information, so you can go back and see, well, for this particular subscriber, what was his quality of experience, let's say a week ago or a month ago.
I see, and just tell us a bit more about the company as a whole. I know you have operations in, I think it's Ireland and Italy. Just give us a little bit of a picture of Commprove.
Sure. Yeah, so Commprove, is a company. We're based in Europe. We are, headquartered out of Ireland, Dublin in Ireland, and we have customers, sort of throughout the world, and have managed to grow a lot, which is great. We've almost doubled in size over the last 3 years. So it's been a good run for us. A lot of that has been driven by mobile broadband data, which I'm sure has been the same for pretty much everybody else in the industry, and also roaming. So to manage roaming traffic, roaming revenue assurance, and so on, have been sort of two key growth drivers for us. And in terms of LTE, where we fit in is to provide end-to-end solutions, and sort of the main premise or the key thing we tout is the ability to monitor across 2G, 3G, and 4G, do it all the way from radio through to the core, and do a user plane and control plane. So it's sort of in three different dimensions, it's end-to-end.
So what are some of the big issues facing the LTE operators as far as you can see?
Well, it's on the one side it's issues, and on the other side it's opportunities. So and we try to help them with both. So in terms of issues, it's of course traffic is growing, the significance of video is increasing. In some networks you see video contributing with more than 80% of the total traffic, but it's more like 60%, that's the average. Either way, it's a big portion of the total traffic. So to deal with that, again back to the signaling question I talked about before, the user plane, to make sense of that across, correlate that information to do network optimization and so on is one focus area for us. And then the other focus area is, since we capture all the network from the network, so all user plane, all control plane information is captured. Of course, that information can then also be used for marketing purposes. So for instance, for operators, if they want to see effectiveness of marketing campaigns, for instance, they do a marketing campaign, they can see what did that do in terms of traffic, what did each of the different users do, what applications did they use, where did they travel, information like that. So So it's both in terms of monetization of the data and network optimization.
Okay, Lars, well look, congratulations on your growth. Been a great pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.